Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are back with our Green Mountain medium, Lillian Williams, joining us here again. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you today, Jill?
I'm doing well, sweetheart. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself and your abilities to our listeners because they are spot on.
So I'm Lillian. I am the Green Mountain medium. And what that means is I'm an intuitive psychic medium who basically has a direct connection to the other side, spirit, anything you can imagine. So basically, it's just as easy for me to connect to the other side or spirits or your energy. Just as it is for me, like talking to a human or somebody else, like there's no difference, even though you guys can't see and hear them or know things, that doesn't mean I don't. So basically, I'm a full-on supernatural phenomenon. And basically,
Absolutely.
And yeah, I'm excited to be here today, and I'm excited to see where
And what is
wants to
Spirit
go.
telling us that we should be talking about today?
Oh, calming down.
Okay.
I know we talk about that a lot, but the calming down is a big step on your own spiritual path, because if you can't calm yourself down, how are you supposed to be? Well, if you can't calm yourself down, you can't do anything. If that makes sense to you. So like once you get into like your state of you have an inner place to go in your mind where it can be quiet and calm, then you can really start to conquer like the obstacles that are around you. Because what it is, basically what life is, it's a test. It's a test from spirit where we're all growing, we're all evolving, and we're all being challenged. The difference is some people get stuck. Some people get very stuck in their same karmic cycles. They get stuck in their own ego. They get stuck in their own traumas. They get stuck in the past. They get stuck in things that they don't want to face and address, and they just start running. And basically, when they start running, they don't realize this, but basically what people do is they run further and further and further into the darkness, and further and further and further away from their own true soul's path. So what I do is I really act as an awakener for spirit. And the thing is, I don't even have comprehension of it. Like I just do things and say things naturally that I don't know what I'm saying, but they make sense to other people. Like I can look at somebody and I just know, whether it be based in telepathy, whether it be based on that empathic kind of feeling we all get. I just know, and I am, and I feel, and I see. So basically what I am is I have all the abilities one psychic can have. And basically what my business is, what it was designed to do, was basically grow and evolve with me. So as I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly evolving. I'm not perfect, but what makes me a leader and what makes me an advisor is I use everything I go through and I apply it to the business. I apply it. I take the hard lessons I learn in my own life, and I apply them to my business. Because basically what they say, there's an old tale that basically explains that what wisdom is, it's basically calcified pain that has transmuted into wisdom.
Wow.
Does that make sense? Like the wise men didn't become a wise man.
Yes.
They weren't born wise. We are not born wise. And you see, the thing is, you have to go through stuff to be able to become wise. You don't gain your wisdom. It's not handed to you.
No.
You wear your wisdom like a badge. It's something you earn. And you have the choice to come out of the hardships or to have a pity party for yourself. And what I do is I pull people out of that darkness. I pull people out of the superficial stuff. I wake them up. I say the stuff they don't always want to hear, but they need to hear. Like, as psychic as I am, as psychic because I'm very psychic. But you see, the thing is, I don't always like that word because then I get the people that are coming to me, oh my gosh, who am I going to marry? Oh my God, are they my soulmate? And you see, that's the thing, that we need to release control. We need to release control of it, because even for me, as much as I know, I don't always want to know as much as I know.
Yeah.
That is part of my biggest burden.
Wow.
Knowing as much as I know and feeling as much, it's a cold, cruel world we live in. And being this empathic, it's not always fun, because you see the people, I don't want to say, but you see it. You see the people who are good that are being kind of pushed around by the darker energies of life, because we all have a vibrational state. And you see, we can either work on our vibrational state, and we can do our best to ascend, and we can do our best to find our inner peace, and we can do our best to lead. But if we're not nice to ourselves, if we're not kind to ourselves, what's the point? Because how can you be kind to another person if you're not kind to yourself? And even if you are nice to other people, if you're not nice to yourself, it's just a little bull, you know? And that's the thing. We can't sit here and pretend. And that's what the world is. It's a world of pretending. Yeah, like I am literally here to call people out. And you know what? People aren't always going to like me. That this is part of the things I've been going, because yes, I want to be liked. Yes, I have a business, but at the same time, my business, I'm not going to sit here and tell you what you want, because this is the thing. Other psychics, I've had people come to me and they say like that they're upset because they've spent a whole bunch of money on other psychics. And then I'm like, okay, well, you still have to pay my, because it's my living. But it's like, at the same time, I feel like psychics and other, they can very easily get their own ego and very easily get their own kind of projections mixed up in it, especially if you aren't that true medium who has that direct tap. Because I feel like a lot of times, like, psychics can kind of tap into like kind of like the telepathic energy of what somebody actually feels. But as far as it being like actual sound, because you can be soulmates with somebody, you can be literally made for each other, and it can be written in the stars, okay? But at the same time, and you can recognize somebody and it'll make you feel crazy, but at the same time, I'm not gonna sit here and ever tell somebody to wait. And you see, that's the thing. That's what keeps people stuck, because especially in this age with spirituality blowing up, they're just because somebody claims to be a psychic doesn't mean they're a psychic. Got it. And I'm not here to call anybody out, and I'm not here to but people are over here offering intuitive readings that probably shouldn't be offering intuitive readings, because they're projecting. Yeah. And it's like, when I'm doing what I'm doing, I literally go away. I'm not conscious of what I'm saying. I'm not conscious of what I'm advising you to do, because that's the thing. It's not me, it's spirit. And you see, spirit has that bird's eye view where they see from above. And that's the thing, where it's like, I'm not going to sit here and because if you're not being fulfilled, I'm going to hold your hand and I'm going to give you the tool. Like, you might not like me. You're probably, chances are, people, especially if you are in a lower vibrational frequency, you're not going to like what I have to say. Because they're not like, and especially if they are in a very, very, very lower vibrational state, it's like, no, because I'm here to guide you. I'm here to guide you out of your darkness and into your light. And if that means I have to be a hard ass, I'm going to be a hard ass. Yeah. And that's like, I'm not here to sugarcoat. I am literally here to rip the Band-Aid off. And like, be honest. And you see, that's the thing. I feel like a lot of psychics, because we're doing it for money, and this is the thing. This is like the thing I went back and forth with before I actually opened, because I was like, I don't want to skew my relationship to spirit, because my connection and my relation, it's so pure. Because like I said, like, for the longest time, it was so much easier for me just to talk to spirit and talk to like the divine than it was for me to interact with people.
Wow.
Like for a long time, I actually forgot how to interact with people because of the trauma I went through. So I spent a very, very, very long time just getting good at communicating with spirit. And I got very, very, very good at reading rooms. And the amount of telepathic hits I get on it's hard to separate. And I'm here to help. Like, I'm not here to coddle people. I'm not here to hold your hand because I'm not going to do all the work for you. I'm here to point it out. And then if you want to apply it, if you want to take what I tell you, fine. But if you don't, go to another psychic that's going to tell you exactly what you want to hear because they're just picking up on your telepathic energy. I'm here to guide you and I'm here to help you. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. And that's kind of the thing. It's like, okay. And you see, I'm also here to push boundaries. I'm here to push social norms. I'm here to literally say, no, I'm here to shift us into a new age because I see it. I am that Aquarius. I'm the grand air trine. And it's like, I am literally here to lead and push people. I am here to make people uncomfortable. I am here to make people ask the hard questions. I am here to sit here and literally wake up the sleeping lions.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you know what happens when you go into a lion den and wake them up? That they're not always going to be happy when they get that woken up call.
Wow.
But you know, like spirit says, I'm literally an alarm clock for people that need to wake up. And you know what? Not everybody's going to wake up, but for the people that, because spirit says, because I'm not conscious of what I'm saying all the time, spirit just speaks through me. So I have to trust that spirit's speaking and spirit's going to hit with the people that it needs to resonate with. Because what I do, it's a full state of surrender. I don't have a say. It's not me. I don't have a say. I don't know how I know what I know. I don't know how I do what I do, but you know, it is. It's unexplainable. It's supernatural. It makes people uncomfortable a lot of the times, but at the same time, I'm here for good. And I'm determined because what I do, it's such that double-edged sword sometimes where it's like, I literally have to make this into something good because if I don't, what's the point of it? Because it's like, I'm not going to sit here and be this hypersensitive if I can't make good out of it.
Oh, wow.
You know, that's where I'm at.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you're on a roll. My goodness. So for today, what else are you supposed to share with us? I mean, clearly you can help people in so many different ways with your.
Well, and you see, this is the thing. I'm always kind of coming because of what I am and just how, like, I don't even, like, it's hard for me because, like, I don't even feel human half the time, to be totally honest with you. Like, I know that sounds a little bit nuts, but I don't feel human half the time because what I am is so sensitive and it's so, my life is literally out of a movie book. Just of how much I know about people and how much and how much I'm connected to spirit. It's like, it sounds a little bit crazy, but it's not. And I've just had to learn and I've had to trust that it's for good. And you see, that's the thing. Like, when I call myself a medium, yes, I'm a medium, but I'm so much more than just a medium.
Mm-hmm.
Just that, like, that's just a name. And see, this is the thing. Spirit wants to talk about titles today and labels. Why do we need to give everything a title and a label? Like, that's man-made. That's an illusion, you know? And I talked about this briefly. Everything is an illusion, Jill. It's not black and white. Nothing is good or bad. It's all energy, you know? Like, yes, there are good and bad things, but like it's all more neutral. It's not, because we're all connected. Whether you're a rock, whether you're a cat, whether you're a human, whether you're a tree, whether you're a bush, we are all connected, okay? Mm-hmm. Everything is alive. Everything has energy. Everything will speak to you. Does that make sense? Because we're all on a frequency. And you see, that's the thing. Like, going through ascension after ascension, because I'm rapidly growing. I'm rapidly evolving and changing. And this is the other thing. Spirit wants to talk about death and rebirth today. Because we're talking about both literal and metaphorical death, because this is where I was talking about every single day that I'm on this earth, I learn something new about my abilities. I learned that I'm capable of so much more than I thought, and I go deeper and deeper and deeper down the spiritual rabbit hole. Okay, like Friday, my grandfather passed away. He had really terminal stomach, and he was like holding on for a while, and like I've been doing distance Reiki on him and stuff, and he was doing better, and he was like hopping around and all that. After I did the Reiki on him, like the distance Reiki, I did that like a few months ago, and I guess he was okay because he was on his deathbed before, but then I did the distance Reiki, and I guess it worked a little bit. So yeah, I gave him an extra few months, but the Friday, it was just really, really close to the end. And I called my Reiki master, and I'm like, so is it actually okay to go do a session on him just to like actually help him transition over and like clear the energy field? And I went, and I accidentally realized that I think I'm supposed to be a death doula.
Oh, what happened?
So my family was there because I haven't seen my grandpa in a few years, really. So I'm over there like communicating for everybody, because you see, that's the thing. I'm a medium, but you see, the thing is, they don't have to be dead for me to be able to communicate with them. Like, they can be unconscious. They can be in a coma. Like, I can go in and I can help. And this is stuff I've known, because it's like people have tragedies. Like, they get in, like, let's say somebody has a bad accident or a coma, or like, let's say with my grandfather, somebody's literally on their deathbed. Like, because of what I am and because of the mediumship ability I have, like, I communicate with them. Like, they don't, like, they're still in that in-between state. And you see, that's what I am as a medium. I have access to all of it, whether or not they're dead, whether or not they're alive, whether or not they're animals, because it's all telepathy based. And you see, I am so telepathic that it's like, and you see, that's the thing. Like, I don't even know my own power half the time. And you see, that's the thing that spirit says, that's what makes me so beautiful, is because I'm constantly growing and I'm constantly evolving. And see, this is the thing. Spirit says, no matter how good you are, no matter how long you've been doing something, you should never, ever be calling yourself a master, because no true master is ever going to sit here and call themselves a master, because a true master knows that they're never done learning. Like, we are always learning, we are always evolving. And that's the thing. That's where we get stuck, because people are like, they graduate school and they're like, okay, I have nothing else to learn. They've been in this same job for 10, 20 years. Okay, I have nothing else to learn. They kind of hit that peak where it's kind of like that mental blockage they put on themselves, where it's like, okay, society says I can only get this far, so I'm only ever going to be able to get this far. No, that's how you block your manifestations. That's how you block your power. Who would you be if you were the only one? And I've said this before, and you see, that's where your true power lies, because once you can sit in the quiet, once you can get comfortable on your own, once you can stop kind of engulfing yourself and everybody else and what everybody else has going on around them and what everybody else thinks of you, like, what would you do? What would you say if you were the only one watching yourself? Because it shouldn't matter. We shouldn't be worried about getting ridiculed. We shouldn't be worried about getting judged. We shouldn't be worried about, like, that is all societal stuff. And you see, on a spirit, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter one little bit. And you see, it's all about the dualities. It's all about the push and pulls, and it's all about being gentle enough on yourself to be able to learn and be able to heal and being able to transmute all the energies around you. Because, like, I was talking about the rapid evolution, and this is where I was going with the death and rebirth. The girl I was yesterday is dead, Jill. I am a new person every single day. And you know what? Somebody can call me two-faced. Somebody can say I'm but you know what? I'm not, because I am constantly bettering myself no matter what. And I don't think I will ever get to a point where I'm 100% satisfied. And you know what? People can call that, but I don't think that's unhealthy. I think that shows growth, and I think that shows being able to, because I will push myself to the max, because spirit has big plans for me, and that much I know. And you see, that's the thing. We have to release that control of planning everything out A to Z, and we just have to go for it, because if we don't go for it and we're too busy planning everything, you're going to miss out on half the things spirit has planned for you, because you're micromanaging. And when you're micromanaging everything, how are you supposed to have fun? And when you're not having fun, how are you supposed to live life?
Oh.
Seriously. And that's the other thing spirit wants to talk about, is presence, being present and being mindful and living in the moment. Because everybody, I find that everybody, even myself, because I'm human, it's a constant journey in this physical form. I'm human right now. So like, I'm still, because even though I'm an ascended soul, and I know so in spirit, I'm still human, and I still make mistakes, and I still have things that I'm working on, and I still have triggers from past things that I need to heal. But you see, the thing is, I know that. I know that, and I am still working on it. And you see, that's the thing. I own my mistakes. I own my weaknesses. Because I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm perfect, because you see, that's the issue in society, is people on the top, the leaders, they put on such a facade that they're so perfect, that they have their shit together, that they have everything, but they don't. Energetically, they're in an even lower vibrational state than everybody else, because they have all the eyes on them.
Yeah.
So they have so much pressure on themselves that they've applied, that they're not being real with themselves.
No.
So they don't even know how to be real with society. And you see, that's the thing, where people see this, and they want to be just like everybody else. They don't want to find themselves, because they want to be just like everybody else. And this is where the superficial stuff comes into play, because it's really not important. It's really not, because at the end of the day, we're all beautiful and we're all unique, and each and every one of us experiences life differently. And we're not supposed to be like everybody else. We're supposed to be different. We're supposed to stand out. We're supposed to be funny. We're supposed to be silly. Like, let loose, have fun, just play. Don't be so worried about falling, because you know what? If you fall, you just have to trust yourself that you will pick yourself back up. And you see, that's the other thing spirit wants to talk about today, is fate versus free will. Because I talk about this a lot. You can be fated for somebody. You can be designed to do something, but spirit could have a million good things planned out for you. But if you're stuck, if you're in a lower vibrational, depressed, poor me, pity party mindset, you have to meet spirit halfway, or you're not going to get anywhere. But you also have to be willing to step back and receive. And you see, that's where the balance and the duality comes into play. And that's the thing, like, everybody sits here and we're also focused on, okay, so everybody has their own issues. And see, this is the thing, like, why can't we just come together and help each other through the issues, rather than getting jealous, rather than getting petty? Because people see people up top, or that are successful, and they only see the come up. They only see the come up. They see post come up, not pre come up. You don't know what people have been through to get to the point they're at. Because this ties back to the beginning. Wisdom isn't something that comes natural. You're not born with wisdom. You're not. And you can't, like, you have to go through hard stuff, and you have to be able to transmute the hard stuff, because spirit is going to throw you tests. Spirit is going to throw you lessons, but you have to be able to have your mind figured out, and you have to be able to have that calm place in your mind, so you're not all over the place when those tests comes. Because if you're all over the place when those tests come, guess what? You're not going to pass them.
Yeah.
You're going to get caught up in the anxieties. You're going to get caught up in what you think other people want you to do. You're going to get caught up in what you think everybody, because the only thing that you need to worry about is controlling your mind. Master your mind. The only thing you can master in this life is yourself. And even that is a constant journey. Self-mastery is a constant journey. You don't ever reach a place, and this is the thing, because spirituality is blowing up so much these days, especially with the like the new spiritual people, I hate to say this, but a lot of the tarot readers, honestly, they're worse. It's like the new makeup guru stuff. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
Yeah.
And you see, this is the thing where I think it's very, and I can say this because I've had enough people come to me and say, I've had these psychics mess with my head. I'm never going to a psychic again. And see, this is the thing. I'm like, yes, I'm psychic, but I'm going to sit here and I'm going to advise you with my mind. I'm going to advise you with, because I have both sides of my brain mastered, not just the left, whichever side's more spiritual. I'm channeling, but you know how one's more practical sided and one's more spiritual sided? You have to bring that into balance. So you're not just in the clouds. Coming from me, who's constantly in the clouds, you have to be able to master both sides of your brain. Because if you're just sitting here as a psychic and telling somebody to wait, they could be waiting for 20 years.
Yeah.
And if you're telling somebody to wait, guess what? They're still chasing. They're still chasing. Because what we need to be doing as psychic and spiritual advisors is we need to be saying, yes, there's a connection here, but no, you should not be waiting. You need to be I've said that, but it takes two. And you see, this is the thing. Like, yes, I want love. Yes, it's normal to want love. But at the same time, you have to be able to find somebody who's willing to work through their own triggers and work through their own stuff. Because if you're just going to be, if you're falling for somebody who's running away and who's running away from themselves, they're just going to hurt you because that's part of their own pattern. And see, that's part of the karmic cycle. You have to no matter how much you care, no matter how much you love them, you have to physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually cut off from them. Be you on your own. Get your own life figured out. And then, if and then they're meant to be, they will come back. But they're not going to come back until you're ready. Because if you're not ready, guess what? It's just going to be a toxic relationship, another toxic relationship. And you see, that's the thing. People don't know how to have healthy relationships these days because we're running from ourselves. We're running from our past traumas. And you see, that's the thing. I trigger the ever living hell out of people. I do it in my job and I do it in my personal life. And you know what? Not everybody's going to like me. I'm okay with that because spirit needs to speak. Because who else is going to say it? Because apparently psychics are over here just reading the telepathic energy. No, you have to look at the whole picture. You can't just look at, you have to look at everything. You can't just feel the pull because a lot of the times if, let's say somebody who's obsessed with somebody comes to just a normal psychic without the extreme abilities that I have as a medium, and let's say other mediums probably have. You have to be able, because what they can do is they can just pick up on kind of like the telepathic in your emotions because they're not clairsentient and they don't have spirit whispering in their head what the actual answers are. That's what I have. I have the actual answers. I have the actual advice. I see everything. And I see it all the time. People and I feel like especially with men, if they're with a toxic female, I feel like, and this is something we don't talk about because I feel like men are very tough and they're very macho and so they don't like to admit that they've been abused. Plain and simple. They don't like to admit that they've been abused, even if they have been. Because it's kind of one of those taboo but it's so normal. Narcissistic and I don't want to get into this, but narcissistic abuse.
And I'm sorry, we're out of time. So
Are we really?
Yeah. I was able to go over it to get you the 30 minutes because my other one is shorter, my other show. So yes, but it's been 30 minutes already.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
It just goes off.
It's fun. I'm letting you because that's what you do. And that's part of it. And that's how we're learning, and we're trusting in you to guide us and to, work with you. How do we get you? Lillian Williams, how do you get you on Instagram?
So you can find me at green_mountain_medium. You can find me at Green Mountain Medium LLC on Facebook and YouTube. And then I think that's it. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but my brain's shut off. So
that's okay.
Very well.
Thank you. I'm sorry that we're out of time, but it was a pleasure speaking with you. I'm glad we got the full time in though, because of your technical error, because you're every week something goes on with her energy and spirits, and then the computer crashes. Then
especially since the Reiki attunement.
All right. Well, thank you again, sweetheart. Yes. And again, I'm sorry about your grandpa. I hope your family's doing okay.
No, well, see, that's the thing. They have me. This is the thing. The death didn't affect me.
Mm-hmm.
He's still here with me.
You're
like,
right.
I sound like a crazy person.
No, but it's hard for your family to go.
I'm actually happy because I literally went to go do that Reiki session to clear out, to make his transition safe and peaceful.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for doing that for your family.
Yes.
Bye, sweetheart. Have a great day. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.